then, okay. So in a little while, I'm going to have Samson join this call with me too. He is our service project leader, and he handles like keeping us up to date with what's needed in our communities. So if they need like desks in the school, or if they need classrooms built. So I thought he'd be great to have a call too, in case there's any questions around service projects that we do. But we'll get him in a minute. First, let's walk around the Shine Center. So when we have mentor calls, they happen right here. There's a bunch of iPads and computers and stuff that our students in the academy, so those are people who have been through 200-hour teacher training, they'll get on calls with their mentors right here. Typically. Sometimes they do it from home though. This is a sneak peek of the office. You can see Andreas and Laura and Julie in there. And usually these desks are full and it's pretty rowdy in there. Laura spotted me. But like I said, it's 6 p.m., so everyone's gone home for dinner. Anyway, this is where people just kind of chill, as you can see. So every Saturday we have a community class, and you've probably heard about it in some way, shape, or form, whether it was from me or the internet or a friend. And after the community class, which like 400 people attend, some we serve end up packed here. And there'll be people just like filling plates. It's wild. And then everybody sits and hangs out in this big like community space. We also use this space for meetings and for, just hanging out. A little kitchen. This is our reception area. I'm gonna come over here and make everybody say hi. This is, many people know Zebulon. People put them on the spot. This is our studio space. So there's two parts of the studio space, really. This is the downstairs. On Saturdays, like it's literally mat to mat, no space between the mats. They just fill up. And then there's upstairs. And the upstairs area gets packed too. And people who like to sweat more will go up there and practice because it's so hot up there. Pretty much, let's see, what else happens down here? Like Academy will happen down here. You can see there's a little like tech station in the back where they play music and deal with the microphones. So when there's 400 people packed into here, we our teachers go on mics, and then there's speakers downstairs and upstairs, and the teachers kind of move about the whole space. They'll walk around here, they'll go up there, and it's just wild on Saturdays here. So if you're planning to come here, definitely be here on a Saturday, and you would be anyway, for Saturday community class. Say hi, Julie.
Hi.
Julie's our academy coordinator, so she deals with everything, basically. Okay, so I'm headed back to my laptop now. I'm going to switch off this camera, and then I will turn on a screen share on my laptop. And let's see. So the purpose of this call is to answer any of your questions you might have, and give you plenty of information on all the different ways that you could be involved, whether it's coming to Kenya or not. I think we'll do it like this. If you have questions, put them in the chat end. And I also suggest flipping your phone if you're on a phone so that you have like a bigger screen space, because the presentation letters will be a little small if you're on like vertical. So go horizontal with your phone. And I'm going to switch it over now and find Samson on the way. Okay, can you guys hear me now? Wave if you can. Okay, good. I see a couple waves. All right, so hang tight. Let me get Samson so that he can say hi before we start the presentation. Samson, can I steal you now? Samson and I did Baptiste Level 3 together. Say hi.
Yes, hi.
So I told them how you lead our service projects,
Yes.
and you let us know what's needed in town and in our communities that we go to, and then you also help with actual service.
Exactly.
Yeah, the plans and the building and everything.
Yeah. I do everything, which is needed. We are changing the world. AYP is trying to make the world to change things in the communities, which is very important. And most of the communities, they like AYP because it's helping the kids. We are building schools. We are building playgrounds. We are building desks and buying some stationery to the schools.
Yeah. And so pretty much anytime you get involved in any program, everything is involved with everything that we do. So whether you come here or you mentor or you just do like a monthly giving program, everything works together. So it sponsors like our academy, which is when people come to the Shine Center and they learn, or it could sponsor service projects with Samson. It could sponsor keeping the lights on in our yoga studio that you just got to see. So everything is related, and it's all so, I want to say, like heavily intertwined. But this is a really important facet of it, is the service.
Yeah. And mostly we need the people, we like joining together with other people, because the most impact and the challenges we face, we have got a lot of community outreaches, and the most of our outreaches are schools, and the schools, they need AYP to assist them what they are lacking to the schools. So if we come together, we shall make a very big impact to our community.
Yeah. Takes a village, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Great.
So you'll stay with me. We're going to do a presentation, and then at the end you'll have me, you'll have Samson, and also Wanji just hopped on the call as well. And whatever questions you guys might have, we can get them answered. For anyone who just jumped on, there's a chat that you can use to type in questions, or just keep them in your mind until the end of the presentation, and then we'll get everything answered. Okay? Cool. All right. Let's see where. Okay. Trying to find, here we go. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen, something that says get involved. Will you wave at me if you can? Somebody who's on video, wave at me so I know that you have my screen. Okay, cool, good. So there's tons of ways to get involved. Something I wanted to share before we talk about those ways. Of course, our mission is to spread yoga. That's, such a big piece of it, and many of you on this call are yogis, and you probably know that already. But even bigger than that, it's to educate, empower, elevate, and expand employability with youth. So that includes, the schools that we build. It includes the academy that we run, and it includes training yoga teachers. And what we want to do is create opportunities for youth to step into their greatness and become self-sustaining leaders in their communities. And it takes a lot for that to happen in a lot of different facets and elements. But why yoga, right? Why use yoga as the tool? Well, because the wellness industry represents a $3.7 trillion market in the world. And that means that there's jobs to have. Then, right? If it's such a big market, then there are jobs to have. It's something that people want and need. So we think about here in Kenya, more than 70% of Kenyans are under the age of 30, and they face an unemployment rate of 40%. So 40% of people under the age of 30 don't have jobs here. And that's why this work matters so much, getting people educated, getting people the skills and the tools that they need to be employable. And we use yoga as the method. So we're in 19 different countries at this point, always trying to grow that list in Africa. And yeah, our vision is to support the very young youth through service projects, and then also to support our young adult youth through our academy, through training them as yoga teachers. And like I said, all of our programs relate back to those missions. Just to give you some insight to the numbers, like I said, we're in 19 countries. We have teachers in 19 different countries in Africa. We have over 360 outreach classes happening weekly. That means that a teacher that we've trained is going back to their community and teaching a free yoga class. And then we pay them. So they have a job, they're hired by us, employed by us, and then they go out and train, teach yoga for free in their communities. We've had 93 graduates from the 3-year AYP Academy, which that number was updated last night as we had graduation, or 2 nights ago, actually. I mentioned that we have we have close to 400 people sometimes in our space on Saturdays. We've built 60 classrooms and renovated them in local communities here around Nairobi, and that's Samson's work. And yeah, I mean, over 6,000 people a week access free yoga because of our teachers. So when you get involved and participate in any of the different ways, you support scholarships, you support our academy, you support our Shine Center, that's our studio and our hub. That's what you just got the tour of. You support our teachers, and you support our outreach and service projects. Like I said, it's all very meshed. Okay, so one of the ways to be involved, which I've shared with some of you on this call actually, and some of you on the call are already mentors. Mentorship is a one-to-one, like a direct connection. So as a mentor, you have a mentee who's in our academy, and they go to academy year-round, and you work with them once per month through a Skype call on the same topics that they're learning in academy. So you don't have to be a yoga teacher. You don't have to be like a yogi expert by any means, but more just like the value of having somebody who stands for you, right? Each of our academy students gets somebody as a mentor, like in the role of somebody who stands for them, for their growth, and cares about, them succeeding. So that's what mentorship is really about. That's not a Come to Kenya program. That's from wherever you are at home. This is a little more about mentors. Okay, teacher trainings. So we do 1 teacher training per year here in Kenya. It happens partially in the Shine Center, and then we usually go to a different area of Kenya. And through the teacher training, you can either come and take it, like earn your 200 hour, or you could assist it if you have already done a 200 hour. In either way, you're involved in the whole process. And through teacher training, we of course certify teachers with 200 hours worth of yoga teacher training, and we also do a service project. So if you have any questions on that, of course, hold them till the end. Samson could answer service project questions, and we can get any questions you have answered around that. It is a 12-day program, and typically it happens in April. So 2019 program is April the 27th. And then that's like the average time of year that it happens. Then there are Seva Safaris. We do like 3 to 5 of them per year. And the big focus on Seva Safaris is the service project. So Seva groups come, there's usually a theme that goes with it. It's a 10-day program. In those 10 days, you'll do lots of yoga. You'll go experience our outreach classes like firsthand. You'll do a service project, and you'll go on safari. Seva safaris can be created by you. Like if you have a group that you want to bring to Kenya or you want to travel with, you can think up a theme and we can create a whole trip with you and your group, or you can hop on one that already exists. If it's like just you or you and your partner or you and a friend, you can jump in on something that's already happening. So we have a couple upcoming in February, or the end of February. We have the Look Forward Give Back Seva Safari. Again, 10-day program. This one in particular includes a training, and the training is around yoga as a tool for substance abuse rehab. So there's a woman named Nikki Myers who created a yoga for 12-step recovery program. She's coming over to Kenya and she's going to lead her training, yoga for 12-step recovery. And that will be like intertwined with going to outreaches, going to the service project, and going on safari. Then in July 2019, there's a Seva safari with Dan Nevins. He's a quite famous man, actually. He's a motivational speaker and a yoga teacher. He's a combat war vet who is a double amputee. And so he is like insanely inspirational, and he's a great, great storyteller. And his story is amazing, but he's also very skilled at how to share details. So what he's created with two women from Wanderlust Yoga is a training around like finding your voice, how to tell your own story, what is your story, how to share it. So that is the theme of that particular Seva. Then in August, there's a family Seva. We do one of these about every year, and it's just what it sounds like. It's a chance to bring your family over, and usually it'll be multiple families. So two people and their kids, 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, and then maybe they have a friend, a family like friends, and they come together, or it could be like a bunch of families from all different places that don't know each other. So it's kind of different how it ends up every time. But again, 10-day program. It's usually a lot of work. Like the Sevas tend to revolve around, or the service trips, tend to revolve around kids with those. So that we're bridging the cultural gap between kids coming from the US and kids here in Nairobi. And then in 2020, we have 2 planned so far, and maybe more if you plan on one. One in June, Yoga for Everybody. That one is related to working with people of all abilities. So we'll work with kids with physical disabilities. We'll work with kids with learning disabilities, all different levels of people, all different abilities in the world of physical, mental, emotional, everything, learning. And then in July, another family Seva, which I've talked about already. Then there's plenty of other ways to be involved as well. The handstands tour, some of you have experienced already, I know. But what it is some of our teachers from Africa travel over to the States, and they take a trip around the country, stopping at all different studios and delivering amazing, incredible yoga classes and getting people really excited and enrolled in the mission of AYP. Those happen twice a year, and it's always kind of different when they happen, but this year we did summer and fall. So look out for information on that. You could be a host, or you could wait for our schedule to come out and then go attend an event somewhere. Studio partnership is for studio owners. So if there are any of you on this call, you're welcome to reach out to me directly about studio partnership. And it's really just creating, like a deep connection between AYP and a studio community. Ambassador program, that is how I started with AYP, actually. I started as an ambassador. And ambassadors commit to a huge fundraising goal, $10,000 in a year. And then they come over here and to Kenya and they, for the first week, get to experience what we do, who we are, and how we impact the community through outreach and service. And then in the second week, they get to give back by providing a workshop. So if you have an expertise in any area, that would be a great option for you to come and deliver a program for our teachers and share your expertise. And then of course there's monthly giving, there's one-time giving, there's supporting different events that go on in the US that don't necessarily have like a long-term commitment or a trip to Kenya, but are still so impactful for our community. And then, what's the first step? That's the most important part. Well, on this presentation, of course, there's links, but really many of you know me directly, and you can email me, you can text me, you can Facebook message me, whatever it would take to get you connected, do that to me, and we'll get you involved. So thank you for listening to the presentation. I'm going to turn off my share screen now and answer any questions you might have. Okay.
Is that comfy down there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Squish in here with me.
That's a black box.
All right. What questions do you guys have? Somebody has to wonder something. It doesn't even have to be about programs. It could be, I don't know, how many desks did you build this year? Would you know that answer?
Yeah. There's a lot of answers waiting for you.
If you have one, you can
Yes.
just unmute your mic and just yell it out.
Danielle, how many 200 RYTs are you using this year? Is there just the one?
Say it again.
The 200 RYT? Like,
Mhm.
I was interested in assisting a program. Are you just leading the one in February, and that's the only one for the year, correct?
In April. Yeah.
Oh, it's in April.
Yeah.
Okay.
February trip is it does include a training in it, but it's like it's like on top of 200 hours. It's like a weekend long type training. And that's actually a Save a Safari. But 200 hour is in April, and it is the only one for the year.
And are they needing, hi, it's Andrea. Are they needing more people to help that one or no?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think I would
We can use as much help as we can get.
Okay, I have a question about so the family one, August 1st to 10th, that's Family Adventure and Service. So is that something that you sign up for? Like, where are the details of that and the costs and all of that?
Yeah. So if you go to the website, there's some of those details, logistic details on the website. It is August 1st to 10th. That's the 2019 one. And yeah, what are the specific questions?
What's the cost? Where do you stay? Do you fly into Kenya? Do you go to like other places, or is it mostly around Kenya?
Wanji, do you want to take that one?
So yes, in Kenya, most of the family savers, we do them in Kenya, and you will go to other places around Kenya. So you go to whatever place we decide you'll do the service project, and you might be with different families. So you could bring your families and form families of 5 depending, and so then as a family, there will be different activities, so you'll be able to see Nairobi and other parts of Kenya, depending on the program and the itinerary that we will create.
Okay, and is it
Does that?
what's the fee? The cost?
Sorry?
What's
The cost. The cost is for each family. Daniel, do you want to share that one? how much does each family raise, or does it?
Yeah.
Because I know it's for per person, it's $4,000 and program fee of $1,750.
So typically, yeah, it's $1,750 per person, which covers your accommodations, your food, program fee. It's like the hard costs, and then $4,000 is the fundraising per person. But depending on the number in your family, some of those hard costs change. Of course, like you share a room and the kids will eat that setting. So some of the costs change depending on how many people are in your family. And then,
Okay.
yeah, and then when it's people under like 18 fundraising, it's a little bit less for them. I think they fundraise $2,000. So adults raise $4,000, and then kids raise $2,000. Kids usually fundraise via like art, events, like, you know, bike rides, walks, hikes, things like that, depending on their age. Cookies, baked goods.
Oh, is that Sparrow's coat? Whose coat is that? That's not familiar to me. Is that Sparrow's coat or something?
Good questions.
Kind of big for you, but kind of small for a grown-up.
Joanne, are you speaking to us?
Who is that?
I just muted her call. Looks kind of
Oh,
big.
good.
Okay, so my last question, and then I gotta run. Thank you so much. So the family adventure SIVA, that also is an opportunity for the families to raise the money for the Africa Yoga Project, and then it's due at what point? You don't do it that in Africa, you do that prior to going to Africa, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fundraising.
And like you do like when you get there or like a month in advance?
Yeah. So it's due, the total would be due 30 days before you come.
30? Cool, thank you.
Yeah, sure. And that's the
I
same
have
for
an-
all programs, just in case anyone's wondering. Any of the programs, it's the same thing. 30 days before you come is the due date for everything. Program, fee, and fundraising.
I have another question. So, when assisting a program, is there an option to do a safari while you're there?
Yeah.
Okay. You would just lengthen out the time or something to that, work it around that. Okay.
It's part of the program.
Yeah. Okay.
It would be in there. Can't come to Kenya and not do a safari.
Right. Okay.
People do ask that a lot though, but yes, it's factored into the program.
Okay. Perfect.
What else?
I have a question.
Let's go, Andy. I heard your voice first.
Go ahead, Sid. Question. I just want to.
Oh, good morning. I have a question for the mentorship. What do we need to start? It'll be my first time, and so I'm not sure if I have everything I need. So I like to be more involved or informed in what goes on in the mentorship. I know it's a Skype call a month,
Mm-hmm.
correct? But I guess how do we begin?
Yeah, so if you are really interested, I can send you the form. You fill out a form, and then my team will contact you and say, welcome to the mentorship program. They'll get you linked up with one of our newest Academy students. And then you get the content each month. There's like a workbook that gives you questions that are related to what they're going, what they're learning about in Academy. And they're kind of like, I don't want to say the words life coaching because that is like a kind of like a crazy thing to say, but they're like self-development, they're inquiry type questions so that you guys can have a really powerful conversation. So you get those, like you get the newsletter, you get the information for each month, so you're fully aware of like what your mentee is experiencing here. And then, yeah, you need a Skype account, pretty much. You need some Wi-Fi, and it's a $125 commitment each month, which pays their stipend for teaching their outreach classes.
Okay. And for it's how long? It's once a month, but it's you originally told me 3 years long. Is that?
The students are in the academy for 3 years. So, I mean, I guess it depends on each mentor if they're able to follow their mentee through the whole process. But you start with them at pretty much at square one. So when they come into the academy, you get to see, you know, their whole first year process. Then they start their second year, and yeah, it's something that you would choose to renew or not. Most people stay with their mentees for them.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's really cool to witness growth.
Yeah, I'll look forward to reading those packages, and I look forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Cool. Megan, did you have a question, or you were just saying hey?
I was just saying good morning. I saw your face like 8 hours ago, I think.
That's true. Megan, do you, Megan's a mentor. She just joined the mentorship. You want to share like a little bit about how it is for you so far?
Yeah. So, I was just on my call last night. California to Nairobi is an interesting time difference. So it either has to be super early in the morning or late at night in order to make it accessible for the AYP mentee to have, to be able to get to the Shine Center and get on Wi-Fi. And so far we're in the pre-mentorship part, and we've only done 2 calls, I think, maybe 3 calls. And we're getting to know each other. I happen to know my mentee because she was in the teacher training last year when I was there, so it's really lovely. So I'm getting to know her better. And there's some like Danielle just said, some like, what did you call them? Life development questions, or yeah. I mean, yesterday we talked about goals, and I had my stuff right in front of me from last night. Goals and resolutions for next year, and just kind of right now it's more informal, and I understand it might change a little bit in January. I don't know. This is the first time I've done it, so
because you're in pre-mentorship, right? So
exactly.
January hits, her mentee starts actual academy classes.
Got it.
So they're in this little like pre-portion where the mentee hasn't begun academy yet. They're between taking 200-hour teacher training and starting academy.
Yeah, and so we're like I said, we're getting to know each other, and we're talking about what she's doing with yoga, what she'd like to do with yoga, what I do with yoga here, stuff like that. And you get to see all the action happening in the background at the Shine Center, and people walking by and waving, jumping around, and lots of fun. So that's about it. And I'm enjoying it so much so far. We've only had 3 calls, but like I said, it's just it's a great way to connect with people. And particularly, I've had a lot of friends who did the teacher training with me last year had mentees for years, and were meeting them for the first time when they went there. Or some, I was just in training last week, and people were talking about their mentees and they've never met them, and they're, in person, obviously. So yeah, it's a really powerful program. I would definitely encourage anybody to do it. Make an impact. Yeah. That's about it. And I just woke up, so I'm pre-coffee still, Danielle. So if you have any other questions, hit me now, because I don't have any defenses.
Any other questions?
Yeah, what else did you guys cover this morning? Did you talk about the training?
Yeah, we went through the presentation. I think you've seen it before.
Okay, yeah.
Programs that we have.
Okay. Because I have 2 other people who I thought we're going to be on the call, so maybe I could direct them to the presentation. Is it in that Facebook event thing?
Yeah,
No.
this is being recorded, so we'll share this whole call and you can email it directly to them.
Great. I'll let them know right now. Perfect. Thank you.
So let's see. A lot of common questions revolve around like the cost and what it looks like once you're here. So there's for any of the trips where you come, there's program fee involved and fundraising. Program fees I mentioned earlier, they cover hard costs. Fundraising is the impact. So the impact includes, like I said, supporting the Shine Center, right? Keeping the lights on here and the water running. And it supports our teachers, it supports their learning, and it supports any service that we do. And if you're in a program like a Save a Safari, it supports whatever the theme might be of that Save a Safari. And then once you get here, pretty much like you are so well taken care of. Everything gets done for you, so to speak, like your room. We take care of booking all of that, feeding you. You always have someone by your side. You always have a local person with you. We call them Rafiki, which means friend in Swahili. And so, yeah, like you're never alone and you're never unaccommodated. You're always taken care of. And also people want to know about like, what if I come early or stay late? So outside of program dates, you're welcome to come and we'll totally help you figure out like where you need to go, where you should fly into, if you want to go to the beach, how you would get there. We can help you figure out those details, but of course, anytime before or after a program is on your cost. But yeah, like people here know the land well, so anything that you would want to experience while you're here outside of the program, we could definitely help you figure out that kind of stuff. And what else? Anything else to say about service, Samson?
Yeah, I think service, we do service projects, and when people, when their team comes, we have got a service project which people do physical with their hands. We build schools, and most of the schools we decide, AYP decides because for their outreaches, if the outreach school is lacking some classrooms, so commit ourselves through your donation. We're going to build permanent classes, we make desks, we make a playground, and mostly if a school has got no a space for building the playground and they have got a permanent building, we build the playground on the top of the roof. So AYP is doing a lot of things give the impact to the community. And mostly we do things which you as participant will never forget in your life, and most of your friends will never forget what you have done in Africa through AYP.
Yeah, and what he's saying I think is so important. Like we take communities that we're involved in already and we see a need, and then we go in and fulfill the need. So, you know, if we have a teacher who teaches in Pangemi, and they're like, you know, we don't really have a space to do the yoga, there's no roof, or the roof leaks so much, or, you know, there's no desks for the kids who come to the outreach class, then it's Samson's job to be like, okay, we need to get desks in that school at that outreach place. So we have eyes there through our teachers to let us know the needs of the communities, and we're meeting those needs. And that's so important, I think, even more important than just saying like, let's build a school here and there and there. It's, you know, we look for what's needed here and we make that happen.
Yeah, and mostly we have got, in 2014, we had a team which came and we had to choose an outreach in Tanzania. So special needs kids. So we went and the fence for the fence, which is to make them safe because they are disabled. So we go outside Kenya. We had to make a fence, we had to make the gate, we had to paint, and we had to build a special swings for disabled. Then at last we went to hike.
We don't have any of those planned right now, but if you want to hike Mount Kilimanjaro, talk to us because we can set that up too. There have been groups that do that as part of their trip. No upcoming ones, but why not? All right, so if there's any other questions, I'll take them, and if not, I'm going to end this call.
Mentorships.
Mhm.
Do those start specific times a year, or is it kind of ongoing?
It's kind of ongoing. The time to sign up would be now, as Academy starts in January, and we have some mentees that still need mentors.
And it's $125 a month commitment?
It's $125 a month commitment, and committing to talk to your mentor at least once a month officially, but then throughout the month unofficially. You can chat on WhatsApp and Facebook. Yeah.
Like my mentee, Caroline, we talk all the time. And when I got here 2 weeks ago, when I first arrived, on Sunday morning, I went to her class that she started, which is called Drum and Yoga. We showed up at her, class that she teaches in town. And then tomorrow I'm taking her horseback riding.
Nice.
Oh.
Just to give you an idea of like what the relationship ends up being like,
Right.
So much more than just
Wanted to make
a call.
sure I don't bite off more than I can chew with
Sure.
but
And
let me look at finances.
And if you have a
Yes.
family saver, we make sure when you come with your family, we have got a service project which we make, and your family, even if they are still very young, we make sure we have got something which they can do so that we make an impact to the family. Because most of them, when they come here, I know very well that the family which remained behind are waiting here to share with the small kids what they have experienced.
Yeah, something for everyone to do.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. I'm going to call this call ended, but what I'll do is keep it open for a little bit in case you think of something as people are jumping off. But I am going to stop the recording right here. And of course, you can always email me. My email is danielle@africayogaproject.org. You can find everyone's email on the website, even if you forgot that. And yeah, I just appreciate you all so much for hopping on the call and for any even little inkling of being involved in AYP. Recording is now stopped. Bye.